I guess he spent a couple of years in like the Marines reserves at the beginning, at the beginning of the global war on terror. I don't think he deployed or anything like that, but um, you know, people have asked me this a lot, and what gets overshadowed in my story is like people see the way I've succeeded, and it overshadows like what I went through, and that like I try to tell people like I wouldn't wish what I went through on my worst enemy because it completely altered me as a human being, like there's things physically, mentally about me that will never emotionally that will never be the same again, and I went through the phase where I thought, oh, this, it's because I'm half black, like it's got to be that, like he's probably gotten away with doing this to countless other black men, and I believe that for sure. I believe that, you know, he's been able to see us as dispensable, and he's been able to, you know, get, um, other black men arrested, get a substantial bond placed on them to where they can't get out, and then they either they can't afford an attorney, so they cop to something that they didn't do, or they cop to something that like they could have otherwise gotten a much better deal for, or like that happens every single day in the system, but like I think that he's seen that over and over again and seen what he can get away with. And the one thing that I do know is I think it comes down to power. It comes down to like I get something from exercising his power over somebody that doesn't have it, because he would stop at nothing. Even when he knew the narrative that he was putting out was wrong, he would stop at nothing to put that narrative out and to use it to justify armed arrests, when I was completely unarmed. Do you think like the statistics of being young, black, you have a military background, special operations, which can be used against you, and then you survive 3 armed arrests with the police. That only happened because I was completely non-reactive, you know. But I mean, that killed me on the inside, because I didn't get to say anything. My whole narrative in life was being decided for me, like that was horrible. Like I had no voice, and so I can't say whether he's racist or not. I can't say, and I give him completely the benefit of the doubt. I'm at the place now where I've completely forgiven him, and I've got nothing but grace in my heart for him. But like the man was trying to kill me one way or the other. If he was, if it wasn't that he was, it was either I reacted during one of the arrests and I get shot and killed, or I give up and I cop to something and I go to prison. And I mean, it's a different feeling when someone's trying to kill your spirit. Like people don't know what that's like. Like, and they have the when they have the power to do so, to literally take you off of this earth, or put you in a box for years of your life. And this was all over something that they knew. It would be different if I was up on the roof with the gun and I was had its criminal background, but they knew exactly who and what I was. They knew, but they pretended, and um they acted like I was something completely different to get a conviction. So my life didn't even matter to them. You know what I'm saying? Like the my existence meant nothing to them. Getting a statistic, getting a check on the scoreboard meant more to them than telling the truth and like actually being realistic about who and what I am. So it was dehumanizing. And for, 2 years of my life, I was going through the experience of it. And then, the last two years after that, like, it's taken so much time to like really heal from the situation too, because I was traumatized for years after that. Like I couldn't even see a cop without feeling on fire on the inside, either feeling violent or feeling scared or feeling, because I felt like they all wanted to do the same thing to me. and I don't have an, you know, I don't have an ill-intended bone in my body. I just want to make my work, you know. I think my work's beautiful. I think it's groundbreaking. I think it's gonna change the world, you know. So like I just want to make the work. And that's how it's always been.